So I think it's not just that there's a lot of program, it's that the programs are all very different in their needs. We're taking a very fine-grained residential housing project, basically. They're very small apartments for students, and that's very cellular. It's got a very tight structural grid. Then we have an academic program where the spaces, there's a combination of different kinds of spaces. We have an office building program for administrative and faculty offices. We have open concept offices. We have very large auditoria classrooms, which are long span spaces. We have spaces for fabricating, the digital fabrication zone, which is, again, a kind of factory laboratory space. So the challenge really kind of manifests itself in a number of ways when we start to mix these different kinds of programs. One is that they all have different kind of circulation routes, different populations going to different places at different times and different security needs. So those drive the building. We have an underground parking garage and loading for a large residence, garbage coming in and out, people moving in and out of the residence. So you can begin to imagine that all of this stuff comes down to the ground plane, and our ambition at the grade, and this is kind of Ryerson's ambition, is to create retail, animation, porosity, to support the campus pedestrian network. So in a fantasy world, this building would have nothing at grade. You could just walk in, walk through it, into the laneway system from Church Street and on to Bond and Gould, and just enjoy a sort of seamless pedestrian experience along the way. There'd be beautiful retail and food offerings and chances to study and mingle with students. And if you felt like it, you would go up to a classroom or a lab, or you'd go up to your residence. But what happens is the ground plane has got to accommodate all of the servicing of this program and its various needs. So we're kind of servicing three different things: an academic building, a residence, a parking garage, and then throw a fairly large restaurant into the mix. And you start to eat away at the available space to sort of support campus connectivity and support transparency and animation at grade. So we were working with all of these parameters, and I think in the end we've done a fairly good job of creating very clear public space routes through the building in an east-west direction, and then the real singular experience is an animated street front on Church Street, because Church Street in that neck of the woods, there's not a lot going on.
On the upper levels are residential spaces for students, and so you'll be animating Church Street just by the fact that there will be people there for more hours of the day.
That's right. It's a 24/7 building, actually. The way we've designed it is that you can walk through. There's what we call the galleria between the interior design and the majority of our building, and that's a 24/7 public route. You can walk through it. There'll be a coffee shop open, probably 24/7 there. And it's from that space that you'll access the elevators up to the 7th floor, which we call a sky lobby, actually. And there'll be a student lounge there, and you actually get out of the elevator, go through the security system, and then up into the residence. So everything above the 8th floor is secured as a student residence needs to be. And everything below it is actually, theoretically, can be open all night. The way Ryerson's been thinking about Church Street, or they're beginning to define through architecture and planning their boundaries as a campus. So this will be the kind of eastern edge of the Ryerson campus, and this building is a kind of southeast gateway in their mind, and the northeast gateway would be the Mattamy Athletic Center. And then, of course, this SLC is this incredible presence on Yonge Street, and everybody can see is this very vibrant pedestrian realm at Gould and Yonge and going through to Church. Ryerson's retail spaces become amenities for the city at large, not just Ryerson, and so I think that's very successful. And the goal is really to begin to draw that population, whether they're people living in the city or students and faculty, to the southeast in this building. And the idea of the Galleria connecting through the laneway system to Bond Street is a key planning idea to create a kind of inviting portal in the east-west direction.
It's going to be very interesting watching it occur over the next 3 years, and we look forward to walking through the front doors in 2018.
Yes, I'll be looking forward to that too.
Thank you.
Yeah.